What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Shinigami. Today I'm bringing you something a little bit different. If you weren't aware, there was a dev call meeting yesterday with Evony developer representative and a group of players where issues, possible fixes, and possible future updates were discussed. Now, this call takes place about every 3 or 4 months. It varies. And compared to the last one, this call was very productive in my opinion. I actually didn't even feel the need to give any input because most of the important issues were actually brought up and there were a lot of players. You might already have seen the live stream. I think Sing and Colt already streamed the call as it happened. And but I thought I would just go ahead and upload the recording. I originally intended to live stream it as well, but because of the meeting time changing last minute and some things that came up, I wasn't able to set up the live stream. But I made sure I record it and upload it just in case you didn't already know about it. You get a chance to listen in and perhaps construct your own feedback for future calls. And there are some good news in a way. It was a very productive meeting again. Definitely gives some hope to a lot of players regarding a lot of those issues that we face. But I'm not gonna tell you anything. I'm just gonna let you listen to the whole thing and leave your feedback down below. We can have our own mini discussion, and maybe I can address some of the questions you guys have in another video. Let's get started.
Definitely, let's hope that there's some good ideas thrown around and not, how do I build my wall?
Do I build my wall?
Oh, cold. Wait, we have a wall?
Cool.
What books do I put on this general?
Let me just check if we still got pending requests. I think that's all. Maybe we can get started.
That's it, all right.
Okay. And first of all, thank you for your time. And for today's meeting, we would like some feedbacks and suggestions about mainly 3 points. So first, we have recently adjusted the battle echelons, and we would like some feedback and suggestions about it, like the rewards improvement and the time schedule of the rules.
Well, it was kind of shitty, the matchups.
The prelim matchups are always shitty, so they definitely
it was every matchup.
Better.
Yeah,
every matchup was pretty much awful.
I made 8.5 billion power.
Even for the most recently Battle of Shalons.
Yes, I'm 8.5.
Like there was a 5 billion alliance. There was a 5 billion alliance.
There's two alliances
like a
that don't equal up to
105
my
billion
power.
alliance.
All right, guys, one at a time.
Yeah, it makes for a very boring battle when you have one alliance that's 165 billion and one alliance that's 5 billion, and then two others that are like medium, 40 billion and 50 billion, and they just get,
I didn't even get that.
their ass kicked by the 165 billion, and you just sit there for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's hard to qualify when you're a 200 billion power alliance and you got 3 8 billions going against you.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then you don't even make enough points to go forward when you dominate everybody.
Some teams or alliances were screwed from the start with their matchups. Some were helped. And now you're talking about the rewards. The rewards are fine. There's the same as whatever. You got the top whatever got a sub, but you have to actually give the people an opportunity to get there to actually make it worth it.
I'd like to share an idea for Shalons in this issue. I've seen it, basically since the event started, but I think it's an easier fix by just simply making more continents so the alliances and the servers are spread out. I think the issue that we have is we have big alliances that are 180 billion power on server 6 facing people on server 230 that haven't merged yet, and their biggest alliance is 15 billion power, and there's no way for them to catch up.
But then they'll run into all alliances and stuff like that if same exact thing will happen. So say the top 300, maybe top 150. I don't know what you guys want to do with that, but
maybe it should be sorted by power instead of
Power based,
age.
yeah.
Make it power based.
That's it exactly. The continent should be based on your power and not your continent. That way, 180 billion alliance isn't competing against, has no way to go up against an 8 billion alliance. And so you break it up into groups by power would make a lot more sense for everybody.
It'll directly solve the problem.
This makes sense.
200 bill alliances matching up with 5 bill alliances. Just have power brackets instead of determined by what continent you're on. At this point,
that's really the best solution.
Yeah.
Server mergers would even help that as well, because the fact of we have so many servers and so many servers need mergers because the traffic and activity is gone. And if you have these servers merging, you're getting those bigger alliances as well, which is making evening out the playing field.
But what do you think, Elena? 100%. Is it possible to do it based on power?
I was thinking that having it based on power is going to be almost impossible because there's so many different alliances, even on the same servers, that have different
and there are
amounts of power.
And there are so many different servers.
Maybe server power.
We need
Power is
to
nothing
check
but a number.
this, see if we can do something to improve this matchup thing.
You look at a lot of the older servers though, and if you're in any of them that are under 100, you probably have 2 or 3 alliances. One's going to be 100, 150 million, and then you're going to have 2 or 3 that are much smaller because they're just dominated by one. So the alliance power would work. You just have to set it up right.
Yes. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the server because, like you said, like the C1 server, some of them have one alliance that's 100 to 150, and the rest are 30. So
if that,
it's really
if that
tough. If that, right. So if you sorted it just by alliance power, doesn't matter what server you're in, then it's fair. Then you're competing against people your size, because it is totally not fair that JT goes up against alliances that are 8 billion and he's 14 billion or whatever. So himself, let alone the rest of his team, he can't score. It's impossible for him to score enough points. There's not enough points on the board, and he's at a huge disadvantage.
The server
when
I'm on,
16 billion power. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say that you can take every other alliance and we're double everyone else. And you know, so it sucks. It's boring, you know, so someone's talking about mergers, things like that. But if you do it by power, it's going to level things out a lot.
So the only issue that I see with the whole power thing is that if you have it based on power, for example, JT could create his own alliance, and he's now a 16 bill alliance going up against other 16 bill alliances. He's going to win 100% of the time, and it's always going to be that way.
That's a really
someone will do that.
If he wants to win the 16 bill bracket, then God bless.
Exactly.
Maybe do average want to win the big bracket.
Average power
rewards down or something like that. I don't know.
Average power of the alliance over the last 6 months, so they can't manipulate it.
Still will not work because they create farms, so the average would still be low.
Yes,
I see.
Correct.
Can
I mean, there's always going to be people that manipulate it, right? No matter what, you're going to have people manipulating the system. So we just got to try to find what makes logical sense. Because right now it's a good program, but it's slightly broken on the matchups for the preliminaries. It sorts itself out once you get to the playoffs, but that's only for 16 teams. Maybe, you know, you have that honor system on the you get the 5 points to win. Maybe the whole thing is like a NCAA Sweet 16, where the whole thing is like an elimination. All the events.
Maybe you add a couple rounds to that last tournament instead of it being 16, push it out to 32 or 64.
Yeah, exactly. It would help. That would help the people that got bad matchups. They still get in.
Yeah, instead of having a 2-round final, have a 3-round final like you do with regular All-Star.
Yeah. That's 10 minutes though. Let's so the rewards suck. Yeah, everyone agrees they're nothing compared to what we need. So increase the
Definitely not.
rewards by like 10 times. And then I think we could settle on that subject and move on. So what's next?
Yeah, and the whole subject on rewards, Elena, the game in general needs to be scaled up to the new game. Like I call the K40 a new game, and everything's a much bigger scale. RSS's gold, token, everything is much bigger. But some of the rewards, like for example, Vikings,
100%.
hasn't changed.
Yeah, Vikings
So
for sure.
we need
100%.
to upgrade everything. Now you did a good job with the MERS in services. They help solve the issue a little bit. It could be better, but it's still a path. But like the game has scaled up 2 times with the K40 release, but the rewards for the general bosses hasn't. The rewards for all the events, All Stars, or maybe not All Stars, but SVS and Shalons, everything could be scaled up to the new, call it standard.
100%.
Same thing with the
Yeah,
quest.
definitely agree.
Yep.
With Quest, with everything.
Yes, I understand that, and I got that all notes down, and we can move to the second topic.
Awesome.
The new All-Star event. You guys got
One of the things that's really frustrating to me is I see all of these people that I meet in Battlefield who have been able to unlock the dragons, but because I'm on one of the servers that's right at the end of the first continent, the only people on my server that can unlock the dragons are the people who are spending thousands of dollars every week. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Like literally, they're spending thousands of dollars.
That's always been though.
That's not true, because we're the last server in our continent, and we got 3 people get their dragons this last BOC. Then if the
It's
Alliance
different in
works
Continent
together-
1, period. Continent 1
It's
has had it the
ridiculous.
worst and hardest.
I'm on
Agreed.
Continent 1. You know, I have qualified in the top 100 since the beginning, and I can't get through prelims. It's ridiculous, and I've wanted to quit over the last 3 because the longer we go, that gap, it just gets bigger and bigger. You know, even spending isn't going to get anyone there. You know, it's become inaccessible, except not even 1%, but like 0.1%. They're not accessible.
One of the really frustrating things is I smash these people who've been able to unlock these dragons whenever I'm in Battlefield, and it's
I do
just
the same
ridiculous.
thing. I do the
Yeah.
same thing.
It's always been coin stars. It always will be coin stars.
It's really old seeing the same people getting the same shit when other people could be getting this shit and actually having more people play and have a better game. Instead of tailoring, there's free people. We need a middle class or something. Instead of you big monsters, I love you all and you know I do. And then little petty people like me that don't want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars anymore because we get treated like shit.
I don't know. I think this new system we have for Battlefield, it's fixed a lot of it out. Like I got people on my server 12. 5 of them had no business getting the fucking dragon last event or last All-Star, and they did. Like they don't spend a dime. So like the teams does help.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but if you're placing top 100 in Bach and you're making prelims 3 times in a row, and you don't get to the top 100 in All Stars, you just need to play better.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
I routinely get the first place in BOC and BOG, and I never make it to any of the All Stars.
The one thing they did with the Dragon last go around too is made it what you pass the prelims. That's the first time we've had that.
Yeah,
so we need to adapt that process. I think 1 or 2 more battlefields and then adjust it from there. You know, we can't just hand the dragons out. People still have to, earn them.
Like I'm
go
scoring
get it,
between 4,000 and 5,000
you know what?
a game.
When you get people that have made it through every time they hit the dragon, why don't you hand out 50 and let them roll back? If they already have them, then just roll it to the next people. Give out like 50 every single time and just let them roll back. Do you understand what I'm saying with that?
Well, that might work, but this time it's not going to work because nobody's got the new dragon. So the top 50 are going to get it no matter what, right? Nobody's going to turn it down this one.
Elaine, I'll say this: keep it to 400, like the top 400. You have it this time. Next season, move to 500. Give more people another shot. And then you also create that gap. You add it to your top 250 get a dragon, and then they get that egg, and they can pick any dragon they want. That could be a way to. Because that's what people want. They just want the dragon. If we give them more shots down the road, top 500, and then, like you said, the top 250 advance, all of them can get an egg. They'll get their dragon. They'll be happy.
That still doesn't fix all
yes,
also
I
with
routinely
BOC
finish in the
ratings?
top 3, and I'm positive, not because I splat, and I can't get into all stars like SBS, BOC, BOG. I'm in the top 1, 2, or 3 in all of those things every single time, and I can't get into all stars.
But it doesn't fix all stars because it's still a single person event. It's still not a team event.
Yeah, people heal over and
Play
over
on a
again.
team. It's not a team
individual
event.
effort. But
We're just
Elena,
talking one. I mean, the same
hold
people
on,
are
guys.
getting in this every single time, and there is a lot of people. I'm like the other lady talking. You get so close, and you can't make it the rest of the way, and it's the same. Continent 1 sucks. We need another level because the same people are getting in there, and they're getting the dragons, and you are not giving.
We
You
have
are
players
not
on
giving
Continent 1 on the
anybody
last
outside of All
All-Stars.
Stars a chance for any additional dragons.
All right.
I mean, other people need them too. We can't even compete in SDS hardly anymore on our server because all these big dragons of all these guys that are getting in that we're going up against, and our server either needs another merge or we can't get anywhere, and it's just becoming pointless.
And I think that's the real topic: is why can't we have more server merges?
Yeah,
I think that's
100%.
gonna be a topic down
I
the
think
line.
I
that
agree.
seems to be
The whole community agrees.
This should be
on all
like
the
the
line
main
groups,
point of call.
everybody wants server merges, right? That's
Everyone.
the number one.
Everyone.
ask.
We've been asking for it for ages.
Forever.
And
More
and
We'll
consistent.
pay for it.
I don't understand.
If you want, we'll pay for it.
I don't
Yeah.
stand down.
Put in the ladder
downside to
pack,
it.
man. We'll pay for
Yeah.
it.
If enough people reach the last tier.
Well, you need to make a better offering when it comes to the additional things outside of just the folks in All Stars also. I mean, I got a lot of people on my server that, we can get close, but if we're not getting there, and it's very discouraging when you can't ever quite make it. First, we got shitty alliances that we're going up against. They're always under our power. There's no shows constantly. Challenge is a joke, because usually 1 to 2 alliances don't even show. So how are we supposed to get anywhere and get those points that we need when we're either up against somebody that's going to totally just kill us because they've got all these all-star dragons, or we don't get anybody that does anything or just doesn't show. So it makes it very hard. And yet if we can't get our stars, we have no chance of growing other than spending the money and get to a K30. But we don't have the dragons and stuff to assist and go up against these people.
To be fair,
you're exactly right. Hold on.
I'm tired of hearing everybody on this call talk about how we can't. There are so many players who play at a lower power level, who don't have the All-Stars dragons, who understand how to build correctly and set traps and play a defensive game or play a game where they're able to. We had a guy in All-Stars last time against huge keeps at 2.5 billion power make the top 10. So stop telling
You also have to remember we have K40 now.
Able to even get into All Stars. That's my question.
I think we're getting
now
off
as well,
topic here.
guys.
We're getting off topic here.
So you're thinking, I can't.
I'm
How
not
do you
complaining
compare
that
to
I
a
can't
K40?
play. Because as I said, I'm winning. Like I'm first, second, and third place. I get it almost every single time in SBS and BOC and BOG, but I'm up against servers. Like it's impossible because of the people who I'm playing against. There's just not enough points on the board.
Why don't you do everybody else does? Just trade points.
I'm in the first spot. I'm literally at like 10,000.
And then they heal 100%. They get zeroed again, and then they healed 100%. And I've seen it every single time.
It's always been heal stars and coin stars. I think we
Yeah,
get
it's
off
always
topic.
been
We
heal
should.
stars. Yep.
We should
Hey, I
just.
will say this: I
Complaining
didn't
about
heal
nothing but
last
the game being bad.
All Stars at all, so it's not a heal stars at all times.
Yeah, but 90% of the time.
Usually with All
I got
Stars,
lucky.
just
I got
consider
swatted
just
in the
consider
first 5
moving the
seconds.
continents around maybe. Like that's in the chat. Instead of like sitting here and us bitching back and forth about, oh, we can't this, or we don't know this, or no. All stars, changing continents, rewards, all that bullshit that was already said. Instead of continuing, we have other shit to address.
Hold on. What about that? What about breaking all stars based on power groups so that everybody above 10 billion is in one group, everybody between 5 and 10 billion is in another group, everybody, maybe that's an option just to something to consider. So it's an individual event.
Every single meeting.
It has.
I don't think it's worth talking about.
Right?
It's not worth talking about. It's because you'll just have VIP 25 sitting at 9.9 billion. Like right underneath the bracket. Yeah. This won't work.
Someone that can rally 4.5 million and smack you for 500 right off the bat. It's not going to matter.
Elena, what are your specific questions for the community about All Stars? You said you want to move on to this topic. We're talking about All Stars. What questions are you looking for feedback on? Because we could do this all day, but what are you asking us for?
Thank you.
Like for your feedbacks of the rewards and the time schedule and how the continent is divided.
Okay.
Continents need to be changed, rewards need to be improved, and
time schedule sucks.
Time schedule sucks.
Yeah, isn't it the East Coast of America?
The time schedule is going to suck for somebody. This is a worldwide game.
Right, but it sucked for the same group of people for how many years?
I think
maybe
it's 7 or 8.
For years, it's only been. So now let's switch it up.
There's been
maybe it should rotate.
2 rounds of challenge.
We're talking about All Stars, not challenge.
We're talking about All Stars, buddy.
Exactly.
Well, it's always going to be at the same time.
Wow. Because the time thing, it's always going to be an issue. Like I'm in Australia and it's perfect for me, but it's
at this point you just got to get used to it. Next topic about the time.
Next topic.
Yeah.
About the time. The time's never going to get fixed.
All right, rewards. Rewards. So obviously more is better.
Yes, and rotating it's not out of the question. So what's the problem?
Rotated to what though? I mean that's the problem. Is that like nobody's come up with a solution. So you guys go and promote problem. That's fine. But you've got to take the average time slot for everybody. All right. So it's average for I couldn't sit and just listen to this anymore. It's average for English, for Australia, for the US, and average out everything manages to be the time slot that we have. I mean, it sucks for me. I'm sitting there playing it at midnight or 1 o'clock on work nights. But I've got to do it because I understand that other people have to play as well. So if you could promote a time slot that fits for everybody, then absolutely. But I mean, we're sitting complaining about something that doesn't really change.
We're not going to make everyone.
So we can move on. I think from the time subject.
You can move on.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible to fix.
The dragon eggs, I think that's all fair. Is there anything wrong with the 3 eggs, the 3 dragons?
Fine. Yep.
That's fine, right?
Yeah.
I think that's
letting them pick the dragon. Yeah, that's totally cool.
Okay, but the actual.
Did you see the new dragon that we will release this All Star?
Yeah. Is it Siege? What's it going to be?
What's it going to be? What are the buffs going to be?
It actually we haven't decided the buff and the attributes or the talents, so it's like quite based on this meeting.
Like 200% siege attack would be
done, and 30% siege range.
Max debuff.
30% siege range.
I mean,
put that in.
I want to.
Yeah, throw some siege range. You should definitely put some siege range on there.
Excuse me, Elena.
Everyone else. So
yeah.
Last meeting we discussed about the dragon, but the requests from the community was making it a non-all-star dragon, because the problem with the non-coiners who doesn't have an all-star dragons, they cannot get to K36.
Nope.
They
I think that's
need a
being problem solved with the new fortune that's coming out.
Yeah, we should leave some time to discuss this.
Yeah,
but that
That's
will
a very
unfortunately have to come
new
out every
to-
event.
That wheel needs to be in every event for sure.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't know why
We'll
it's
touch
taken
base
out.
on that after
Everyone
this
loved
All
it.
Stars topic.
Yeah, I agree.
So All Stars.
We will have new features for other players, like non-coin players, to get the dragons.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any idea what that might be, or any ideas that are floating around about how it would happen?
Wonder probably. And 4 or 5.
Elena?
I don't have the details yet. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're fine. You're fine. That's fine. Cool. That's kind of encouraging. Thank you. Okay, so what's the next topic?
Dude, is talking rewards. I think the first one that we've already mentioned was the Vikings need to be upgraded.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Royally.
Just add another tier of Viking.
Yeah, they just need to scale up just like everything else
Like
has scaled
tactical
up.
scrolls.
Like the Hunt has a hell mode, make a hell mode.
Yeah, add another tier of Vikings, extra gold, maybe some tactical
It
scrolls.
has.
Yeah,
it
like
has
200
tactical
mil gold a
scrolls,
week
Gold.
is like nothing. It's like one
Yeah.
upgrade
Wine.
for military
It's
academy.
such
All
a
the wine
grind.
man should give tactical scrolls, not just 4 and 5s.
Allow us
Yeah,
to-
throw
allow
in
us
like
to
one or two.
compose the research stones into tactic scrolls.
Yeah.
If we can
Yes.
compose those,
Pages,
Agreed.
pages of those.
Or
Yeah,
gold.
would be
Let us
because
pick.
like me for
More-
one, I got like
more gold,
400,000 of
lots more
those
gold.
things, and they're just sitting there.
So-
like
So to summarize the two things that came up, another tier of Vikings to add more gold into the game, and the second thing was to add tactical scrolls from your mirror level 3-2 as well. Those are the two requests.
And convert
Give us-
research stones to tactical scrolls.
Third
Yeah, give
request,
us the
exactly.
ability to compose research stones to tactical scrolls. That would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
That would be
Elena, do you
awesome.
think that's a
That would
possibility?
be nice.
What do you think?
I'm not sure. I'll just to
And then
take a
the other
look.
one is get rid of Garuda or
Compose.
insanely increase the rewards.
Let
on
her
that
let her
one.
talk, bro. When Elena's talking, let's listen to her because she doesn't talk much. She's representing Evony itself right now. So
All right, well, hush, let her talk.
Yeah, I got two requests, and maybe we will even consider to like compose the stones to the tactic scrolls.
cool.
And
Okay.
what else about the other event? I heard someone mention the Garuda.
Get
Yeah,
rid of
that's
it.
what I was saying. Either
Garuda.
get rid of
We
that
don't-
one
we don't
or
need that
It's
anymore.
insanely
pointless. We
increase
don't even
the
do it
rewards.
anymore.
nobody even does it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what is
we don't even
Garuda?
pop
Like,
What is that?
Why?
The Garudas.
That's how bad
we
it
don't-
is.
we
Been
don't
out
even
6
use them.
years. Yeah.
Like the rewards, it sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
It'd be
yeah.
nice if there was
Yeah.
more ways
Prefer
to get
a
equipment
level 1
fragments.
keep.
Yeah,
nah.
it's the game's outgrown it. It doesn't match up with the new game requirements at all.
Yes,
Exactly.
it's not required.
It's not worth the time and effort to do it, and it's just not.
Stamina.
Even for like
Yes.
beginners.
Definitely stamina.
That's
I
be
mean,
another way to get
I
stamina.
think that what you could do is you could probably take the Garuda, for example, and once a server is a certain age, just stop having it. You know, if you're in Continent 1 or if you're in Continent 2, there's certain bosses you just don't need anymore because you progress past that beginner stage. I think you need to take a look at that
Oh.
because it's really hard for us to have bosses that are still populating the map that nobody ever touches on Continent 1 and Continent 2. I mean, let's face it, if it's lower than a B10, nobody even cares. And
Right.
and we just don't hit them anymore. It's not
We
worth
don't
it.
even hit B12s or less, right? Yeah.
Right.
So maybe we can adjust the spawn rate to make it like 0 after a certain time of the server is created.
Yeah.
That or
Or-
rewards.
Just phase out Garudas and just put in the knights. So, because knights are
Nice.
fucking garbage anyway. So
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, when there's no events, use them just so
Thursday,
more
Friday,
people
was no
can
event.
get.
Ymir's.
Well,
Thursday and Friday are the best
Yeah,
days
the
in the
Ymir's
game.
now,
Yeah,
though,
about to
on
say,
Thursday,
like,
Friday. So there is an event.
I mean, my bad.
Just get rid of them.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Like
on off event weeks, push them there and tie the same Garuda
more like
events
we
to
can.
them. If that makes sense. Sorry, I went
Realistically,
all
just
night.
getting rid of those events is just what's honestly best at that point in time. It brings
Yeah.
boss
That's
spawn
the
rate
point of this
up.
game.
It brings boss spawn rate up of everything else at that point in time and offsets. So I mean, it then does it. I mean, what we want it to.
Recording in progress.
Well, just like you guys are saying, bosses are outgrown. We also have subs that are outgrown that are all over our maps. The whites and the greens. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I
Gosh,
suggest
whoever
before them
uses a
remove
white
that.
doesn't know how to play the game. And that would give us more map room for bigger alliances for more boss spawns as well.
Yeah, wait.
Sorry, I missed that part totally.
What was that?
I think every event we're adding more subs in the historic sub city searching. And so every time we add another, 25 subs or whatever it is each, or 30 subs every event,
Recording
that's not
stopped.
taking away from what's already on the map. All of the white subs really just need to be depopulated.
If someone doesn't take a sub after a certain amount of time, it should just go away.
Yeah.
Put it that way. That way,
I agree with
everything's
this
taken care of.
100%. It would add
Okay.
so much space.
And if you're going to continue to put out these keeps that are 3x3, then we need to increase the alliance hive size as well. Because it's impossible.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that you guys release 3x3 keeps for basically no purpose, and there's no benefit to having them.
Cheapen the game. It cheapened the game completely. 100% agree.
It's
A 3x3 keep you can get
keeps that are bigger, but it's just they're worthless to have because they don't offer anything other than just being bigger and taking up space.
Yeah, the keeps that offer buffs are fine, but the ones that don't offer
fantastic.
buffs that are just ginormous and no place to put them is just keeping people from getting the benefit of being in
Even
the
with the
hive.
buff, yeah, even with the buff,
Make it
they
2 by
don't need to
2.
be that big.
You make it
I
2
mean,
by
it
2.
takes 4 spots in a hive.
Who says they need to be in the hive?
Yeah,
Make it
true.
taller instead of wider.
Yeah, I think 2x2 keeps that have buffs would be pretty cool too, instead of having them all be 3x3.
Yep,
I agree.
I agree completely.
All right, let's and more bosses, I think, was the purpose of deleting all those subs and everything. But yeah.
Which that one gets brought up every time too.
Yeah.
We need them used like 7 days a week. Just saying.
Yeah. Yep. Constant spawn.
The other thing is,
or extended
witches
a
and
day
warlords,
at least.
Witches and warlords are fine, but turtles and golems are trash.
Oh my god. Is there anything we could do about that? Like, can we make them better? Like, why do we cycle?
How about getting Nans?
Turtles and golems better because
can we? Yeah.
they're horrible.
Have Nans more.
That and pumpkins.
Yeah. But yeah, buff turtles and golems like their drops because I don't know.
Again,
they haven't paid the rewards for a turtle 5 or and a golem 5 to warlords and witches. The rewards don't even compare. It's
yeah.
Well, it's like hitting a 17. The 17's completely useless to hit.
Yeah.
The rewards are terrible.
Well, and I think this has been brought up a couple of times. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
But there's an argument to be made that once you get to a certain level, the 17 will be easier to kill, and then the rewards are fine. So you can't really say that yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think so. They're gonna be trash. Day
The
one.
rewards for 17 are almost the same as the rewards for 16. You might as well not even waste the speeds to heal. They're not much better than 16.
Well, if you have 4 million T15s like I do, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's my point.
We all can't be great like you, JT. We all can't be great like you.
That should piss you off more because you're getting the same amount of reward for hitting a bigger boss. If it's a bigger boss and you can kill it with 0 wounded, good for you, but you should get more rewards for it.
And you ain't killing it with 0 wounded either, JT. So stop the bullshit. You ain't even close to 0. So slow your roll, buddy. And you should be. If you send a full march of T15, you should be able to kill.
Let's stay on topic, guys. Come on.
I think it's a time to talk about mergers.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Everyone wants to talk about this.
Yes,
Can
server
you
mergers
just explain
is
to us
huge.
how Evony decides they're going to merge servers? Like, what makes you decide you're going to merge a server? Tell us the criteria.
Great question.
How is this figured out?
It's usually we do it like once a quarter, like every 3 months, we will do a merger. And if we have other specific needs, maybe we will adjust to the merger time. So
Or are you basing your mergers?
Yeah, so how do you figure out which ones get which?
I think there is like a program formula, maybe something related to like active players, like daily active players, and many other aspects.
Is there an option for merging multiple servers at the same time? Not just 2 servers together, but merge 3 or 4 servers together at the same time and just really
just 1 server.
Condense this.
I think we can do 3.
3. That's better.
Perfect.
That would help a lot more.
The one thing you gotta remember about that is also though is they usually don't up the bosses at that point either. Though, after
Or the
merge.
ranking. Or the ranking.
So when you start putting all those players on, all those active players on one server, and you have the same amount of bosses you had before the merger.
Look, man, you can't have it both ways. You can't complain about the way it is now and then complain about getting too many people and not what you
Honestly,
want.
the merges are what we need, but the ranking part is an issue because the more servers we merge, the more people that move ranking, the more people that lose subs, all that bullcrap.
You're gonna get that issue anyway with just with 2
Like
servers
the
merging.
prestige rate, prestige rank.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, prestige rank.
But let's be real, it is an issue, but it needs to be the mergers need to happen. Let players do what they need to do to catch up and catch up on the rank and those things, spend money, whatever it is. But the mergers need to happen, period.
Yeah,
There's so many
mergers
servers
It
that
might,
are
it
dying
might be a little
because of
far
it.
fetched, but you can even just like reset the rankings, add a merge, and everyone just start from 0.
Yeah.
That way, it's not an unfair advantage.
Reset.
Or just make the, like Archduke the top 50 or top 75.
Yeah, make it bigger.
That's all you have to do. There's no reset needed for that.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Just an
That's a
idea.
good
I
idea.
mean, that server would have an advantage by having more people with more subs, but still, unless all the servers have the same
the tough thing.
layout.
I mean, the tough thing then is if all of a sudden they're merging low servers, say 10, 20, 30, with all of a sudden server 200, 300, and then rankings be a bunch different. But I mean that's a problem that they're just gonna have to figure out by sorting mergers out within their own groups or age slots as well. I mean,
That or when you merge a server, they keep their server rankings, so you'll have separate rankings for each server on that one. So like S10 has their own ranking still, along with S67.
That'd be cool.
I think that when you merge servers, all prestige should get reset.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Get competitive again.
I think prestige should get longer. It should get longer, bigger, more players, more prestige. That doesn't make sense to make it smaller and smaller at all.
That server gets a big advantage, though. Those alliances will
The
have.
server gets bigger, the amount of prestige in those rankings get smaller.
But here's
So,
the thing:
well,
when
the
you
server will have
when
the
you
same
merge
amount of
servers,
people.
you're creating a new playing environment. In a new playing environment, you start everybody off the same. And guess what? If you used to be active 3 years ago and you accumulated 30 million prestige points, I don't care, because if you only log in twice a week now, then so be it. You don't deserve to be Archduke. I don't care.
Yep.
That's true.
Good point. Really good
Start
point.
off with 0, and the active players are going to get the prestige, and the ones that aren't, well, you're not playing anyway. So
It'll sort
really
itself
come back
out
to
based
you.
on merit. It'll
Yeah.
sort itself based on merit.
How about an extra sub slot for Regent?
No,
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
So Atlanta, do you think? Do you think three-way, 3 server merges and a possible ranking reset for merges? Prestige reset, sorry.
Reset all prestige anytime you do a merger. It's just not fair to players when you don't do that, especially from the younger server. The younger server, they can't switch subs. They can't move things around. They can't play the game the same way that it's intended to play because you put them in an unfair position. So you have to put them on a level playing field with the new server from a prestige standpoint.
So if this is possible to like reset the whole thing. But every time after the merger, we got a lot of complaints that saying they got like degrade. And if we do resets, they're gonna kill me.
It's not fair. It's not fair to the younger server. There's so many examples of it. You merged servers last year into servers that were 3 years older than them. There's no way that those players are going to have the same prestige.
Unless you're VIP 18 or 19,
I mean,
you get the honorary archery or regen.
The toughest problem with resetting is then the following weeks. But I mean, everything kind of sorts itself out after that. But I mean, the toughest problem is going to be your following weeks. You're just not going to be able to move subs or anything like that and pray you don't get zeroed at that point in time because you're going to lose all your subs. But I mean, it's just protecting yourself the following weeks after until you can either hit your rank that you need to hit to hold your subs, or obviously be in, the honorary system there at that point in time. I mean, that's the biggest downfall.
Or just make it a fixed number for each tier, for each rank.
What about your permanent rankings? Take them out of the prestige rank. Once they're a permanent Archduke, they don't need to be in rank for Archduke anymore. So that way,
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, that helps your free to play players a bunch at that point in time. And I could honestly care less who's in the ranking system. I mean,
Absolutely.
I got my rank where I need to be.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Doesn't matter. Everybody on this call is probably automatically a
Regent.
honorary.
I mean, we're probably all
Not
regents.
me. Boo is not. Boo stopped spending all that money once I started seeing what the newer servers were getting. I'm watching somebody else spend $200,000 just on an All Stars. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't dropping that.
So more,
either.
more merges.
So much for the mergers. And how is the new event packs? Like we have increased the packs value, and
They can be better.
Add a ton
I
of
think they're good, but I think you just need to revamp a couple subjects. Speed ups are not valid, and stam is not valid. Gold is not valid. I mean, you're getting 60 million gold for $100. I mean, that's pretty nuts. That's not enough by any means.
The cake level got up tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, it's stuck on the one cake, which I guess that is whatever it is. But you need to go and update 2 or 3 or 4 things in your $100 packs. It needs to have more gold. It needs to have more speed ups. It needs to have more stamina. I mean, those are the probably
and
3.
Souls. Yeah.
I mean, I got
gold mines too. Source of life. Gold mines like we have gem mines. Put gold tiles on the map. Let us farm it.
I don't know about that idea. I ain't farmed in 5 years. I definitely ain't gonna start now.
What's farming?
I don't want more things on the map.
Farming?
Yeah.
No you might if you can get some gold.
Let us transport gold as well. You have made it a resource once you made it usable towards troops.
Yeah. Or like to be able to trade it or something.
Gift it.
Yeah, if I can transport gold, that'd be great.
Yeah, you used to do that in Age 1, like all that sort of shit. So.
There's a lot of games that you can trade.
Use it.
You can trade resources for gold. There's a bunch of games that do that.
Yeah, Age of Empire.
Yeah.
The old PC Evony version of the black market.
Yeah, that was great.
Like a trade market.
So players can make the trade by themselves, like with all the in-game items.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right now we can transport resources from one team to another. So.
Yeah, I would just make it transportable.
But you can transfer gold.
Yeah, or refines.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to help teammates out,
actually,
make it so you can pillage it like you do resources.
Yeah.
Could you say what you said again, Elena? I couldn't hear you. Talking over you.
I couldn't hear Elena.
I mean, so it's like 2 points now. When to transfer and when to trade, right?
Yeah,
it's
add
mainly
both
about gold and other in-game items.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I should be able to send that or transport it to people in my alliance for sure.
Also, can we keep that wheel like permanent and add more coins to the pack, please? Like to the packs, like that was great. That actually encouraged me to coin. I actually spent last event, and then I was like, oh, cool, maybe the wheel will be here. And then I look at it and I'm like, oh, never mind, my wallet's going, bye-bye. because I am not going to spend unless I know that I can use something to advance with and not spend ridiculous amounts of money. I would like to keep my home. I'd like to keep my clothes, and I'd like to keep my dignity.
Yeah, I definitely think that keeping the Wheel of Fortune definitely the special Wheel of Fortune needs to stay in every single event.
Yeah, make it consistent.
I mean, it's already way too far behind.
Is competition, and if you have the game where everything is so expensive that people can just pay a lot of money and just smash other people because it gets so big so fast, it's not as much fun because like it doesn't.
I mean that you've kind of got to weigh that out. I mean, if that guy's willing to spend $1 million to whoop my ass who spent 100,000, that is absolutely fine. That dude should whoop my ass. I mean that should be the way it is. I mean this game
how
is
big you can get for just spending money because that guy doesn't have any skill, and it's like it should be a mix of.
Yeah, I know, but this is. I mean,
pointing. Like
it will be. It's just we're
That's
seeing
how every game is.
Events.
This is pay to win. Yeah,
we're seeing the events of right after a big update. You give it 6 to 12 months until everybody can grind their way back up to catching up, to have the T14s, to have the size, to have everything. And now don't get me wrong, them players at the top are still going to be at the top. They're going to be even bigger, but that's fine. Them dudes spend mad cash. They should be at the top.
The exact same thing happened.
Like I got hit by this and I survived, and I'm only a 2.3 billion player. Like I get it. Like I want to be able to work towards something.
Yeah, that's why we're trying to say that like the Wheel of Fortune needs to stay in, the additional Wheel of Fortune needs to stay in, and we need to up certain things to keep the mid-level free-to-play players engaged. Gold needs to be updated. Speeds need to be updated, whether they're in packs, whether they're in bosses, and you need to go and update just.
Elena? I want to ask something. I just remembered this. I'm sorry, Cole. I love you. Can we put the damn Rage King in the damn tavern so people that haven't gotten it in 5 years can actually finish their general hall and not want to punch something every single time it goes one spot past that Rage King?
Oh my
god. Sorry.
We can,
okay, so
sorry, that pisses me off. I have rage from the Rage King.
Yeah. So Rage King to the tavern.
Hey, it was one person
Rage King in the tavern.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying there. I 100% agree. I thank you for apologizing. But like I said, there's multiple things that need to be updated to keep free-to-play players alive. You're seeing a lot of alliances that were at the top, including mine, fall off to mid-level alliances, which is all right. That is what it is. Just because we don't have as many high-level coiners, that's okay. But you need to keep the game alive to keep the mid-level players coining. So you need to keep your Wheel of Fortune, buff your gold and everything, and keep speeds and upgraded in everything, whether that's in your boss rewards, whether that is in your packs. But those 3 items right there need to stay. And if you need to
there has to be a way to get the new equipment without spending tens of thousands of dollars a month.
Yeah. You just need to keep the Wheel of Fortune in each event.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
It's a very cheap way to keep going.
So if I could just say one thing about the wheel, you should offer also the pieces or the fragments more than one time. You did the one event on my server. We had the wheel for one event. And I know a lot of people, including myself, that got to like 24 pieces. And now that piece of armor is not going to come back next time, I'm sure. So
yeah,
now
that was a total dick move.
26, I've got 26 pieces of the Planetagenet, or however you say it, armor, leg armor, and I'm never going to get those other 4 fragments now because
have them start dropping from bosses when you're done with the wheel for that one. Just throw them in the drop table.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good idea.
So we will have more ways for you to get fragments.
Yeah, put them in 16s and 17s.
Is the wheel coming back though?
Yeah.
The wheel really should be a regular thing.
It should be in every event though. Seriously. It's highly encouraging for like exactly what Colt said for the mid-tier community. It's so encouraging to finally get like a breath of hope in the game.
Yeah.
Because people have been
and
quitting.
Even promotes
one tap dying. So many people have been quitting the game but this is hope for Evony. Seriously.
Because eventually with a path for the free to moderate spenders, there's a ceiling that everybody kind of gets to. And right now the heavy coiners are so far advanced, but as Colt said, in 10 months, more and more people will have catched them because there's really a ceiling that your buffs only go so high.
Yeah.
And if the wheel was great encouragement for people to get gear that they couldn't get because they can't afford. You know, this game is based on everybody's spending is different, right? What I can afford is different than what everybody else can afford. And she said it right. She wants to keep her house. God bless her. So does everybody. So it needs to be a path. It could be a grind of a path, but a path nonetheless. And eventually everybody catches, you know, the game has a ceiling for the most part. Now, people like Phil are always going to be power wise so much bigger, but eventually people are going to catch him when it comes to his buffs and his gear and his tech. And then that's that's what makes the game great when there's more and more
people. For people to keep playing, right?
Yeah. By the time the average person catches them, you'll release, you know, K45 or K50, and then they'll jump way ahead again.
Don't mention K50.
Don't even say those words. Don't say K45, K50. That better not happen. I will shoot myself in the face.
Sorry, Elena. Elena, you got cut off. What did you say?
No, I didn't say anything.
I was gonna say I don't think she said anything.
There just has to be a path, Elena. The wheel was a really good hope of a path where people will say, okay, maybe the piece I need I'll get next event. You know, maybe the fragments will be offered, and there just needs to be a path. And if you're gonna hit a B16 or a B17, you should drop fragments because those things are so damn hard to kill, especially the 17s. You should get fragments or something with them. And you know, how do I end up with 700,000 research stones and I don't have nowhere near enough tactics? So we need to adjust tactics to be more available, like research stones were. Other ways to get it. Maybe another
or compose the research stones. That's the best
compose.
idea.
That would be the best idea ever.
Yeah, just compose the research stones into task scrolls. That's like an easy fix.
Yep.
Or disassemble for gold.
Yep.
Yeah. Or disassemble for gold. Yeah.
That's if they're done with Academy, though.
The game has scaled up so much. I used to have 40 billion gold. Now I have 0. And it's because the game scaled up, but the able to get the stuff hasn't scaled up with it. So, you know, it's like the game has got Evony inflation. You know, we with Ymir's we're able to get RSSs, but it is. I mean, realistically, I mean, what was a 10 bill player now in 4 months is going to need to be a 20 bill player. I mean, rally sizes of 50 million or it's just the game has scaled up. Everything's like inflated. So the rewards have to be scaled up to match, or it'd be at least possible for people to grind it out.
Yeah. So, Elena, do you think that with Vikings you can add an extra tier, like an extra level, or make the rewards better for Vikings to get better, more gold?
Yeah, and Vikings are the perfect example because they were designed for the game when it was K35 or K30 even, and now the game is K40. So they haven't kept up with the sign of the change of the times, right? The Vikings are a great event.
She's got an answer for this one.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, sorry, man.
No, I got your point, and we will see if we can make more improvement or adjustment to like those bosses and like everything.
Just scaling. We brought it up nearly every dev meeting. Scaling just needs to be improved on
How long
everything.
would it take to make these changes? That's the question. Is it going to be 2 more years before we see it?
No.
Some changes.
Go for bite them up.
That'd be sweet.
It would be really nice if the wheel one would happen kind of immediately.
Yeah.
And the server mergers immediately.
And the server mergers in mass quantity.
Wheel's already on the test server. It'll be out next event.
Yeah, JT's right.
We had the wheel last event too.
You just need to keep it more consistent with. You need to keep it more consistent with events. I think another really great topic someone either brought up in the
Healing
chat or
preset.
something like that was just rewards for everything, or scaling down cost of everything, like server versus server. If you could scale down cost of source of life, so either capping it at 3 instead of 5 promotes way more fighting at that point in time, which gives you guys more money, but yet all of us players a better chance at actually wanting to compete for the little rewards that are there.
Yo, I don't normally complain, but if I could just add one thing to that, people have spent like what 30, 40, 50, $60,000 on their accounts and how many years of their life, and they get one rally in SVS because of K40 and they have to spend 10K to bring it back to life and they can't afford it and they have to quit. That's no way to play the game. It needs to be fixed for sure. SVS is unplayable right now. And people are like losing their
Definitely. Yeah, cap
I think the
souls.
source of life is definitely the easiest fix for that.
And that's
Capital
another to the point where people's keeps get so much bigger, they need more sources of life. So the sources of life have to be again scaled up and more available for the average person to get.
Reduce the cap to
so
3.
many.
Just reduce the cap to 3. It'll be way more active in SVS again. Right now,
Yeah.
if you have a family emergency on the weekend, God forbid something happens, you're gonna lose your Evony account. You're done. It's over.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a possibility, Elena?
Can we shorten server?
No, let's hear what Elena has to say real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know right now. I'm really bad at math, and we'll see if the 3 can do the magic.
Yeah, and I mean, if it might not be 3, it might be 2, it might be 4, it might be something. I mean, but literally any fix at this point in time helps promote. I mean, we don't obviously know the math behind the scenes there. I mean, 2, I think is probably ridiculous. I think 4 is not enough. So, I mean, just take a look at the math
Take the
at
middle.
least,
Or just
please
just
change it.
Don't make there be
Take the median.
or like just don't put a limit on when you could revive the troops, because these accounts are getting deleted from the game. Deleted, like years of work. So maybe increase the time to 2 weeks or something. Like why 3 days?
Yeah, till the next SVS or something like that.
Give them more time to bring their account back to life. It's too much money too quickly.
I still think, yeah, I understand that, but I still think you've got to cap source of lives. I would hate for them just to switch to 2 weeks.
Agreed
And
entirely.
then say, hey, like that, we took your advice. So I do like your advice there. I do think that's a smart idea. I just definitely think that you need to cap source of lives below 5, whether it's 4, whether it's 3, whether it's 2. I mean, any change, and I think that we're going to be happy. I mean, we're going to complain no matter what, but I mean, at least
Or you could also
saying or
give us
showing
more
that you're
opportunity
helping
to
us.
increase the amount of troops we can revive per source of life.
Yeah, more powerful. Yeah.
I think more people would play if it was one
I don't
day.
really want
If you
more
had it on
tech.
Friday or Sunday.
I have to
I
do.
think
I'm
more
not gonna
people
lie
would
to
be
you.
more involved than trying to get people on to the weekend.
The other thing
one of the
that
topics
would be nice is
we want to be able to heal presets, guys. We want to be able to heal.
That's right.
Oh, heal presets, yeah.
Heal preset would be nice.
You know,
Yeah.
we got 6 presets that we set generals and troops specifically for that preset, and we should be able to just click on that and heal only those troops if we want to.
Oh, that would be nice.
That'd be
like
handy.
hospital.
That's one of the best ideas brought up in a long time. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
agreed.
We should be able to sort our generals too, the way that we want them in our list, so that we don't have to scroll through thousands of, hundreds of generals to find a general for a non.
And back to that heal preset too.
Let's hear what she has to say about this heal preset deal.
Just one thing at a
Elena,
time.
do we think that is a possibility to set up presets in the hospital to be able to heal those presets?
Or just heal the preset out of the tavern.
Yeah, or, I don't know, not about the tavern, but the rally spot.
Yes, we'll try.
Awesome.
We'll try. Yeah.
Gotta fix that heal glitch with that too, though.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Where you heal and you can't play anymore.
Also, BOC buildings are getting people into all-stars who shouldn't be in all-stars. Still.
Yeah, that's just easy points though. Fuck them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. 75 accounts are all.
No, leave that. I like
guy
that.
heals again and then someone gets knocked out.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
life's
buildings used
not
to be
fair.
Battlefield would still be good
Buildings
with
used to
only
be
at
3
1 hour
minutes to
instead too.
occupy. I mean, look, guys, buildings used to be 3 minutes to occupy, and now they're 30 seconds. probably somewhere in the middle is better.
I mean, but it's like I understand the point of that. You know what I mean? Like trying to bring it into an average there so that not everybody's just capping and holding for that much longer and getting more points. But I mean, is it really changing that much game mechanics? You know what I mean? Like you said, it's kicking out a couple people each deal, which I mean, don't get me wrong,
No,
I'm sure my guys are probably pissed about it.
It just inflated the points. That's all. It doesn't really change who gets in. Just inflated the points up, I think.
I'm seeing some weak players getting in that top 100, man.
I disagree because there's farm accounts who just got qualified in this first round.
Yeah.
On what server?
We're seeing Condo One. There's some alts in the top 100.
What?
264.
There's some sub 100 million power accounts that are in the top 400 right now.
So somebody calculated out, and right now you can get about 48,000 points per round just off a building.
By holding buildings, yep.
So that's enough
okay,
to get top
sorry.
like 5.
Sorry to interrupt. We are aware of this
All-Stars?
already,
Let her
and
finish.
we will try to figure out a way to like avoid this to happen.
Just don't do it in the middle of a season.
It needs to be done
Thanks,
before we go
Elena.
to
I was
round
gonna
2.
say, I
though.
mean, we just said that it needed to be done before, so I mean,
Yeah.
It's cool you're fixing it though. It'd be nice to
Yeah.
do it before this season ends. Thank you, Elena, for fixing that. I appreciate
And
it.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening to all of us.
in a
Yeah.
heal preset would be great. The other thing is
Yes,
maybe
and
make the
thank
throne.
you for your time. And since this already been a very productive one, and I think we can maybe call this a day. And if we will post our feedbacks or
Elena, do you
decisions
have 2
after
minutes to go over
this.
the most important points here?
Yeah.
Like a
more
quick
minutes.
recap. Just a real quick recap.
Just a quick,
No,
yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
have 2 minutes.
Oh, come on, Elena, you got 2 minutes. I'll make it fast, all right? So more gold and speeds in bosses. That needs to be changed. Okay,
Yes.
so rewards for bosses. Another level for Vikings is a great solution to that. Cheaper source of lives. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
healing preset in your hospital for your March presets.
Okay.
Easier
There's
tax
some real.
scrolls. Easier tax scrolls. The Wheel of Fortune needs to stay in every single event. It needs to be more consistent.
Composing
Am I
research stones.
Composing research stones into tax scrolls. Sorry, I forgot about that one.
Stamina. 25 people in every battlefield.
Stamina needs to be an easier. I don't think that's a subject that got brought up enough. Stamina needs to be obtained easier for everybody, not just packs.
Yes, you have
Or
mentioned
free to
that.
play. Okay, perfect. Well, just making sure we got that on the list too.
And
Buff
Continental
turtles and
wants to
golems.
split
We
this
should
in
hire
comment.
you to make our meeting notes, you know.
Yeah, I tried to stay out of this one. I made it 18 minutes, Elena. I just missed you too much to be able to miss it again. All right.
Aw.
Yeah, I understand.
And you know what? You guys that have all the All-Star Dragons, you don't care, but those of us that don't have any, that's kind of probably on the top of our list. At least it is for me. Is making those more accessible.
We will introduce more ways to get the All-Star Dragons, like even the old ones.
Can I just
That's
ask
the-
a quick
that's the
question
most that
about
she's
the
been-
All-Star? What average points do you need in order to make it to All-Stars per BOC?
That's not something that she can tell you.
Yeah,
I mean, that's,
she doesn't
that's
answer
math
that.
that's
That's
math that we've got to figure out.
6,000 per BOC, shouldn't that get going All-Stars?
No.
Right now, it's about
That's
17.
something I honestly
He
don't
was
know.
trying to cut off the call, guys, so let her finish up. And then if we want to talk about this, we could talk about this on our own.
Yeah, no, but
Oh,
we've
yeah,
got to have
thank
her here. Otherwise, we're chatting up to ourselves. And I'm here to tell you, I love you all to death, but I'd rather not talk to you any more than I have to. I'm not gonna lie.
When she leaves, we all voted, guys. So
Yeah.
all right, Lena,
Uh,
wrap it up.
Good night,
buddy.
everybody.
Thanks,
Or
Elena.
should I leave
Oh, yeah,
this
server
meeting for
merges.
you guys to talk about?
Yeah, leave it open.
No, don't.
Leave it
don't
open.
fucking
I'm good,
box
Lena.
open.
You have a good
I
night.
mean,
Thanks,
Yeah,
Elena.
that's okay.
We appreciate you very
Yeah.
much.
Subscribe to my
And-
YouTube channel.
and, thank you for thank you all for the time, and we will have the decisions posted on the Facebook later, and maybe if you miss anything, you can just message me on the Facebook. Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Elena.
Thank
You're the
you.
best. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.